Welcome back, YouTube. Kind of missed this. It's been about a year. I took about a year off from a YouTube channel. It never really got off the ground. But we're going to give it another go here and see what happens. I got some ideas I'm hoping I can try. And we'll see what happens. I got a couple lives I want to try to do with a guest. Guy's really, really smart. Really knows pretty much all aspects of the preparedness community. Everything from the theories of making fuels all the way up to psychologically helping someone in a disaster, I would think. He's got a pretty good outlook on how the brain works under stress. So we're going to try to make that happen. No promises. We'll see what happens with that. But let's do a brief catch-up on what's been going on recently. The big they, are still trying to take our guns away. And why do they want to disarm us? The only reason they would want to disarm us is because they plan on doing something we would shoot them for. Just to recap, the Second Amendment is not about hunting. The Second Amendment is about leveling the playing field with a tyrannical government. So that's why we support it immensely. So on top of that, our funding isn't what their funding is. There are so many people funding the left side. I mean, we'll even go back to, 2 years ago, on the Summer of Love, as some people are calling it. Bricks just didn't carry themselves, pallets of bricks didn't just carry themselves out into the streets where riots were happening. So this was being done on purpose. Anyway, I digress. I'm going to jump on the Bugout Bandwagon that's been going on since the Maui fires have happened. I'm not going to get into the conspiracies of how they started. We're going with weather-related. I'm not jumping on climate change. It's follow the science. It's the Earth works in cycles, so the climate is changing all the time. But it's not a man-made change, and I'm not saying poor decisions by men don't affect it, but do I think there's weather manipulation that can happen? That's a tough one. I think we're close to figuring that out, and by we I mean mankind in general. But anyway, bugging out. Do you have a plan? What's your plan? Do you know where you're going? Do you have alternate contingency? PACE plan. Primary, alternate, contingency, emergency. It may not always work. There was reports of people jumping into the harbor to escape the flames. This fire was moving so fast. I couldn't even imagine having to deal with that level of an emergency. That's unfathomable. That's something we would all hope to never have to deal with, and we pray for the survivors from there. But if you have 15 minutes to plan, do you know how much food to grab? Do you know where you're going? Do you have a second location to go if you have to bug out? And don't get me wrong, I am not a bug out minded kind of person, but never say never. What if a hurricane's coming and it's a Category 5? I'm not staying in a pile of sticks with a roof on it. It's time to GTFO, For me, I have a vehicle that's set up to handle moderate terrain off-road. It's not a rock crawler by any means. It could substitute as a moderate overland vehicle, which is kind of the goal and direction I want to go with it. But 15 minutes I can pretty much pack all of my food, a couple weapons, some ammo, the family, and be on the road. The truck never has less than a half a tank of fuel in it, and at 14 to 16 miles to the gallon in a 44-gallon tank, even on half a tank I can cover some territory. I can easily get to location 1 pardon me, or location 2 on what fuel is in that truck at its minimum most of the time. What does yours do? Are you one of those people that drives around on E, never putting more than a quarter of a tank of gas in it? First of all, as a mechanic, that's bad. Bad for the vehicle. Second of all, when there's emergencies, what if the emergency is no power and gas pumps don't work? So, things to think about. Have a bug out plan with a backup plan and a backup to the backup to the backup plan. Know where you're going. Are there people there? There's probably people there who need to know you may be showing up. Novels like to fantasize EMPs. That seems to be the big thing. Everyone's prepping for an EMP. I'm not saying an EMP is impossible. I'm just saying it's not probable, I think, is the way I want to put that. It could happen, but I don't think it would result to that. Just like nuclear war. It's always a possibility. You got a crazy guy over in Russia just itching to push a button, and things could go very, very badly if that happens. So, again, things to think about. But if you prep for the worst case scenario, then when a minor emergency, when a hurricane moves the town and you have to get gone, it's gonna be easy. It's just gonna be easier. So, next thing I kind of want to talk about a little bit is, and we're planning on one of these lives. I think we're gonna cover a little bit of this on one of the lives that I'm trying to organize. But there's more of us than we think, and that has become pretty evident here in the last several weeks. Let's go back to a movie coming out, Sounds of Freedom, that several studios and promoters didn't want to touch because of the topic, and the things they decided to put out in competition with it in the box office got smoked by Sounds of Freedom. And all of a sudden people are talking about a problem that's been going on for decades, like it's a new problem. Oh my God, look what's going on. This is not a new problem. Trafficking is for real. And I don't know enough about it to elaborate on it. Watch Bear Independent. He deals with it firsthand. He can give you stats, statistics, and what's going on. So, after that, we had a good old boy try that in a small town, Jason Aldean. Again, song got a lot of hatred from the left, but it shot at the charts, man. I think it was number one on like Spotify, maybe, what, the streaming services, for a while. And if there's nobody who thinks like we do, why is this song being streamed so much? And the most recent one is Oliver Anthony. And check this guy out. He's on YouTube. This song, Richmond, North of Richmond. Holy crap, dude. It touches you. And I think this guy is one of us. As in a freedom-loving patriot. Now, back up, I don't know enough about it. I don't think Jason Aldean is quote-unquote one of us. People who are in the industry like that, I mean, maybe he's making a point. I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't have said that. I know he's jumped on the gun rights, lack of gun rights bandwagon once, and you'd have to do your own research. I don't know the time, date, and conversation he had it in, but I'm not convinced 100% that he's one of us. The song hits home. It makes a point, and I understand it, but I think Oliver Anthony is one of us. The song Richmond, North of Richmond it's the real deal. I mean, he hits the nail on the head. He kind of sees what's going on. I've gone so far as to watch a couple of his vlogs on his YouTube channel, and he's careful what he says, but it's understood what he's saying, and he sees what's going on. So check that out. As far as continuing to do more videos, as I do plan to, I'm going to go back to my Bugout vehicle. It's an older OBS Suburban that's kind of being set up as an overland vehicle, and I've thought about doing some videos on the transformation that it could make, or that I'm hoping it will make. Of course, right now here we're in mid-August in North Florida and breaking heat records on a daily basis, so I ain't doing outside stuff, if you know what I mean. I mean, I'm working outside every day in a shop, but if anyone even still watches this channel, throw it down there in the comments and see if it'd be if you'd be interested in seeing some of the modifications and some basic repairs I want to do on this Suburban. I'm not going to turn it into a Vice Grip Garage channel. It's not going to be an automotive channel. As much as I'm into it and I love the automotive industry and it keeps food on the table and the mortgage paid, that's not where I'm going with it. I'm not going to do that. But it'd be kind of cool to document the transformation of this one vehicle. I think that would be kind of neat. So if you see this and you'd like to see some of it, throw me a message on there. And I think that's all I got. I'm going to try to put these lives together, and I'll probably post them on here for dates. I'm going to figure out how to do that. I'm pretty sure I can schedule it and it'll show up that it's being scheduled for a live. And still learning this YouTube thing. I definitely don't have it figured out by any means. So there's a lot of ums and uhs, as you can tell. But last time I was doing a video every 2 weeks. It seemed like it just flowed easier. So maybe it's just a matter of getting back in the habit of it. So Anyway, I think that's all I've got for us tonight. And we'll see what we can come up with. Pretty excited about doing a live with John. Have a lot to learn from him, and probably get a little ridicule for not working on his truck that I have sitting here, but you know, it happens. Again, 103 degrees today at noon. You know what I mean? I mean, no, we're not Arizona. It could be worse. It certainly could be worse, but you know, it's bad out there. So anyway, that's all I got for you tonight. If you would, throw me a thumbs up. If you're new, do a subscribe, and let's see if we can get this to take off this time. Leave me a comment down there. Keep it up, don't do it anymore, or thumbs down, whatever. Just give me some input on what direction to go. So, alright guys, I appreciate it, and we will see you next time.